So a lot of people are saying that the United States and Israel are merging militaries. What people are talking about is Section 224. The provision appears in the House version of the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. It's not law yet. It still has to survive committee markup, pass the House, like reconciliation with the Senate, receive the president's signature. But I think we should talk about what it is and what it's supposed to do. So Section 224 actually is merging the United States and Israel at the level of defense technology, like military development and like the defense industry itself. It's calling for joint research, joint weapons development, joint production, shared military networks, shared data, interoperable systems, combined program offices, long-term institutional cooperation amongst the United States and Israel militarily. So, for obvious reasons, people are upset because it goes beyond simple partnerships. AIPAC and other supporters are saying that this is simply just the next step in an already close relationship between the United States and Israel. But from a non-biased standpoint, no matter what your opinion is on this, it is the institutional integration of America's defense industrial base with a foreign government. Now let's talk about the dirty stuff. This is the stuff you want to hear. This is what you waited for. Who's involved with this? So it took me like 5 minutes of research to find out that the lawmakers most associated with advancing this proposal have collectively received hundreds of thousands of dollars from pro-Israel lobbying interests and donors. So I actually did you a favor and I made you a list, because why not? So Mike Lawler, who's one of the strongest advocates for this provision, has reportedly received more than $684,000, actually $318,000 directly from AIPAC. And then we've got Mike Rogers, the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, has reportedly received more than $549,000. We've got Brad Sherman, who's expected to support the proposal. He's received nearly $693,000. And then I, of course, saved my personal favorite for last, Marlin Stutzman, who is the congressman who was actually personally thanked by Benjamin Netanyahu. Actually, June 1st, Benjamin Netanyahu sent a letter to Congressman Marlin Stutzman thanking him for endorsing this plan. And it's important to give you a direct quote. I was glad to receive your proposed congressional resolution endorsing my plan to shift the framework for the U.S.-Israel defense cooperation from aid to partnership. So Title 18 of the U.S. Code, subsection 219, specifically prohibits federal public officials from acting as agents of foreign principals. They are required to register under the FARA. The principle behind the law is simple. American officials are supposed to represent American interests, not the interests of foreign governments. So I actually saw a supporter of 224 say that it's similar to alliances like NORAD and other like international partnerships that the United States already has. So the issue I have with that is Canada is our neighbor. Israel is our parasite. It's quite different. Israel has no mutual defense treaty with the United States. Israel's not a NATO member. Israel's not a part of the National Technology and Industrial Base. But Section 224 would grant Israel a level of defense industrial integration that exceeds what America offers some of our closest treaty allies. This isn't being proposed with Canada. This isn't being proposed with Britain. It's not being proposed with Germany, Japan, South Korea. It's being proposed with Israel. A government currently engaged in genocide in the Middle East. Human rights organizations, international legal experts, numerous governments have said that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza while simultaneously escalating war and regional tensions quite literally everywhere. And I will say the concern shouldn't be that American and Israeli troops suddenly become one army overnight. The concern should be permanence. Okay, aid packages can be voted on. Funding can expire. Congress can revisit them. But once you build shared networks and shared databases and you combine offices and you're integrating supply chains and jointly developed weapons programs, and those relationships become embedded inside government institutions. They become difficult to unwind. It's quite permanent. Okay, and that is exactly what this bill is designed to accomplish. A permanent relationship between the United States and Israel militarily. And the biggest concern I feel like I don't see being addressed, and this is where I'm going to close the video out, transparency. You should be terrified, because today Americans understand military aid because it requires public appropriations, like public votes. Section 224, like this merging would move much of the relationship into like private channels, like private acquisition channels, technology partnerships, bureaucratic structures that the public doesn't have access to. It would be far less public attention and oversight. The argument against it should be simple. Like, why is the United States moving towards unprecedented integration with a foreign state that sits outside of our normal alliance structures? Why is this happening with so little public debate? Why are we institutionalizing a relationship that future Congresses may struggle to reverse? Why does it appear that the Israeli government itself is actively encouraging this transition? Benjamin Netanyahu called this his plan. It's quite literally illegal for United States officials to act on behalf of a foreign government, and that is quite literally what we're doing. This is not okay. This is not legal.